Hey, thanks for spending a piece of your day with me. I wanted to wrap up the story, really, that spans into Genesis 41, the story of the life of Joseph, and I want you to put yourself in his mindset, just to kind of get yourself there. You are a 17-year-old. You've got your whole life ahead of you. You're the golden boy. You're full of plans and the potential of everything that you can possibly do. And then one day that all changes. You are sold into slavery, and you spend the next 13 years um, as a slave, and then after being falsely accused, you end up in prison. And if the story stopped there, you would read this as a tragedy. You know, the idealistic youth goes through terrible things, and life slowly grinds him down to nothing. But the story doesn't stop there. And I think it would be very easy to picture those 13 years where he would just feel more and more, have questions and be angry with God and just let life wear him out and grind him down. But when the Pharaoh has his dreams, Joseph is brought before him, and the first thing we read is that he's praising God and giving God glory for being able to interpret dreams, and you don't hear the worn out "woe is me." It would be so easy to have that victim mentality after going through the tough stuff that he did, and yet he doesn't. He just does this, and then he interprets the dream, and then he gets to embark on this incredible, amazing new a chapter, a new adventure for his life. And so that 13 years, I think, if you were to look at how God wants us to view that 13 years from a worldly perspective, we would say, "Oh my gosh, it was so unfair. It just wore him out." And I think that he would probably argue, no. Just like in Psalm 66, it was a time of refining. It was a time where he had time to be built up and be molded into the man that God wanted him to become, so that when the time came, he would be ready. And so he was. He's this 30-year-old that comes in now and is the second most important person in Egypt, second only to Pharaoh. And he's able to fulfill God's purpose in an amazing way, as we're going to read about later. But what an amazing, time that he had there, where he was going through these terrible, from a worldly perspective, again, these terrible, challenging things. But that was how God refined him and turned him into the man that he needed him to be.